Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And a special shout out to Hello Mom. Told you I'd make it, even if it's just YouTube. Today, we are going to be talking about Seattle. More specifically, West Seattle, South Seattle, Burien, Tukwila, those kind of areas, and how homes are just being given away for free. Just walk up, they'll give you the keys, maybe their dog as well. Just kidding. But that's kind of what these articles are alluding to, as well as Cairo, I believe, put out a news story about how prices in certain parts of King County were down 20%. Now, you can kind of read these for yourself. King County assessed property values going down. Zillow says 6.5% year over year. Let's talk a little bit about that. But before, if you don't mind, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It really does help the algorithm. You might have a neighbor that you want to help, or nobody. You can keep it to yourself, but it really is just information that I'm trying to give out. There's going to be no selling here. This information is just for you, your friends, neighbors, family, anybody that lives in these areas. And the areas that I will be talking about, again, are going to be highlighted here in the yellow. Specifically just these areas. We're not talking about the entire MLS. We're not talking about the entire state of Washington, east side, any of those, just Seattle, SeaTac, Tukwila, South Seattle, those areas. So these stats that I'm going to be showing you are specifically to the areas. Now, the news articles are going to be all about Washington, King County, more specifically from what it says. So the actual numbers, the actual meat of this story, you can see here, this is a 7-day running statistics, which means the past 7 days, this is what is sold, new on market, listing price. More specifically, what we're going to be paying attention to is the pending sold versus the new listing. So as you can see here, there's 1.5 times more listings being taken off the market than put on the market. And now you might say, well, all these news articles just said homes aren't selling. Values are down. Well, yeah, 32% overprice their home as far as what the market believes the value would be. And that is an interesting point. When you go and price your home, if you properly price your home to sell within the first 7 days, you're going to get anywhere from 100 to 100% of your list price. Whoa! That's not what everybody's saying. 100 to 107%. That's crazy. What do you mean? Like if I give my home away for $2? No. If you properly price your home to what the market value says, 100 to 107%. Now, if you miss that 7-day mark and you go out to about 20 days, you're probably looking at 96 to 98% of the list price. Now, if you miss that mark and we go to 40 days on market, you're going to get 90, maybe somewhere about 92, 93% of your list price. That's money straight out of your pocket without a properly priced home. So 32% of these people had to reduce their price because the market just didn't see the value in there. Now, only one home in this area increased its price. Shout out to you, whoever you were, So in the active and sold year over year, you can see in May, the active sales were way under, the active listings versus sold was way over what the active listings were. Now, if you remember what happened May last year, it was the highest interest rate hike in history. So they took that super low interest rate and they shot it way up. So in the next couple months, you saw, and you can see right here, the actual sales were going down. A lot of that had to do with not only the interest rates, but also the vacation trifecta, which if you kind of want to know what the vacation trifecta is, my mentor, George Moorhead, he has a YouTube channel as well, and he loves to talk. I mean, let me tell you, this guy loves to talk, and he would love to tell you about it. Just message him, and he also has a video that's already on his YouTube channel about the vacation trifecta. But just a brief overview of what it is. You have people that want to go on vacation. Some people do. I know it's weird. People actually want to go out and enjoy themselves in the sunlight, and maybe just not in Washington. They want to go to Hawaii or Greece, Brazil, wherever they want to go. They're not on the market actively looking for homes. So that, as well as the interest rate hike, had a lot to do with why these bar graphs here are showing this yellow, boom, going straight down. And then in here, you can see the interest rates slightly starting to decline a little bit. Now, the past couple weeks, they were raising back up. And I believe last week we actually went up above the 7%, which a lot of the buyers were holding off because the purchasing power that you have with such a high interest rate is not as strong. You just can't buy homes. Unless you have cash putting down, you can't buy as much in homes. So in this next bar graph, you'll see crazy. In that May time, you got 108% on properly priced homes. You got 108% average. Wow. Word jungle there. Of your listing price. Now, those interest rates, purchasing power, people were seeing that their homes from May or their neighbors' homes were selling for so much, they didn't want to lower their prices. The market didn't call for that sort of value, so they had to go and lower the price or just take them off the market. And as you can see here, the actual percentage of list to sale price went down to about 98% at its lowest time. And with these interest rates kind of going down a little bit, buyers were coming out a little more. Now, our inventory just in these areas, remember these are just the South Seattle, West Seattle numbers here on the graph, they started selling a little bit more homes, which means the prices were getting a little bit more competitive, a little bit more multiple offers on properly priced homes. But with all these articles, they're kind of scaring some of the people, saying, oh man, the first time since a great recession 15 years ago that property values from assessors are going to be lower. And it even says on the bottom here, interest rates began climbing, pushing monthly payments. People can't afford as much monthly payments. So the news was probably giving a little bit of fuel into that fire of not allowing buyers to become excited about getting a new home. So they might have said, we're just going to rent for a little while longer. Interest rates are going to go back down. So there wasn't as competitive in the market. Now, with the interest rates lowering a little bit, as you can see here, this huge hike in May, that's when everything started going down. And we're seeing the up and down, up and down. With the interest rates lowering, buyers are starting to come out a little bit more. They're saying, okay, well, this might be the new norm. So it's not going to go back down to the 3%, 2.5% that we saw during the pandemic, which is crazy, crazy low numbers. I mean, look at that slope down there. There's no other slopes except for 2017 came kind of close. It's most likely not going to come back down there unless something very drastic happens. And it's not the feds that control these interest rates. You're going to want to pay attention to the 2-year and 10-year treasuries. The closer they are, the worse that they're going to be for interest rates. Also pay attention to the bonds and mortgage-backed securities as well. So in this next article, sadly, she says Federal Reserve began increasing interest rates. They do affect them. They do not control them. Again, that's going to be your mortgage-backed securities. It's going to be your bonds and your 2- and 10-year treasuries. And also the median single-family homes sold for $840 in March, down about 10% from a year earlier. Now, there's a lot of stats that go into the median or the average of homes that were sold. So interest rates, if you have to sell your home, you're going to most likely move up into a higher priced home. So with let's say you refinance with a lower one, you're not going to go back on the market and get this huge interest rate if you had locked in that lower interest rate on, let's say, a $1.5 million home. So these are certain factors that are also going to affect this. A lot of the higher price homes probably didn't go on the market, so the median of that price is not going to be as high. That doesn't necessarily mean if I were to put my $1 million home on the market 2 years ago or last year, it would have sold for way more than what it's going to sell for now. That's not what this is. I think it might be alluding to it, but that's not what the reality is. The reality is sometimes lower price homes are going to be more of what's on the market, and sometimes higher priced homes are going to be more of what's on the market. A lot of these statistics you got to kind of pay attention to, and not just get into this news shark, whatever is going on in the news. They just try and take your eyes, and they really just want your views as far as news goes. Not saying this person's not smart or anything, just stats. Just look at the stats, the numbers. They really don't lie. Seattle sees its third largest drop in home sales. This is kind of a contradicting article. It says closings fell by 39.3%. But then right afterwards it says the new listing decreased by 39.2%. Well, that right there, that's your 39.3%. You can't sell a home that's not on the market. You can't sell 7,200 homes if you only have 4,377 homes on the market. So yes, closings did fall, and there were lots of factors for that. Now, it does allude to overall buyer demand for housing remains robust. So on properly priced homes, we are seeing multiple offers on well-priced homes. And a lot of these buyers that are missing out on those properly priced bids, that's a pent-up buyer demand. They want to get into a home. So it's not that they can't, well, maybe it is that they can't, but it's not that they don't want to get into the home. It's that the homes are not on the market for many factors. And again, please subscribe. This is just information that I'm putting out for you, and I will see you on the next video. Subscribe. Smash it. Smash subscribe.